It's been a couple years and there's been a lot of changes, but I feel like the last time I saw you all, I was talking about my flop era. So I feel like we need to do some catching up. Actually, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Alexa, and for most of those people who don't know, I started this channel when I was 19 years old, about to go into my Disney college program, and now I'm 24. Ooh. I'm sorry, trigger warning, aging! First things first, we should start on a truthful note, and I promise I won't lie to you. So this mic actually isn't even attached. I can actually just get rid of that. But I ditched this channel for the longest time, partially due to, you know, the D word, depression. Let me fill you in on what we've missed. The funny thing is, I already told this story kind of on my TikTok, but they deleted it because UMG removed all their silly little sounds off of the clock app. So here we are, baby. Take one. My flop to bop era. How I went through the most rancid, terrible, absolutely horrible, very good, no good early 20s and ended up semi-thriving in my mid-20s, aka now. Let's get into it, girly pop. You won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. The funny thing is about your flop era, you never really know that you're in it until you're actually in it. So, welcome to my flop era, and I'm going to explain to you my bop era, also known as my gap year in England. Alexa. Graduated, call me Big Fish. Hold on, my bad, y'all. This story actually starts a few weeks before graduation. So a month away from graduating, I basically told my teachers that, like, I had no more options. I thought I was gonna work after college, that fell through. And at the time, I was anti getting another degree because school quite literally sucked the life out of me. Long story short, I just didn't know what to do next. You know, I come from a Caribbean family. If you don't have a solid plan, it's basically like you are the black sheep disappointment. So my teachers were like, why don't you take a gap year? Okay, I almost forgot to mention, so when I was doing my senior comms presentation and my teachers were like, you should take a gap year. They were like, during that gap year, you should take the time to freelance or work on content creation. And I was like, in theory, both of those sound great, but like my brain isn't always on like that. And if it has to be on like that, that requires me taking my ADD meds, which quite literally sucks the creativity out of my brain. Again, I was like, hello, Caribbean family, did we forget? And they basically were like, you're getting to an age where you need to make your own decisions and stick by them. So then came the moment where I had to explain to my family, hey guys, I'm taking a gap year and I want to actually au pair in the Netherlands. My grandmother calls me crying, saying she had a dream that the father of the family I was going to au pair for did something to me. Child that died. So, word spreads like a wildfire throughout my family. There is no such thing as a secret, because if I think I'm telling one person something, suddenly my great aunt knows as well. But honestly, the way me and my great aunt and my grandma are, I'd probably tell them something before I tell my own mother. Aww. So like I was saying, word spreads like a wildfire throughout my family. I get a call from my aunt quite literally the same day. And she's telling me how, oh, your mom already lives in England. You should just move in with her and work on that there. Y'all, I haven't lived with my mom since 8th grade. And it wasn't like she did anything. It's just the fact I went to boarding school for high school and then I went away for college. And honestly, it just made our relationship stronger because I was a horrible preteen. Money-wise, that sounds great because it will basically be like, yo, I'm stacking dough while I'm doing the thing I enjoy, right? Wrong. Fast forward to me moving to England. I took that route, of course, because clearly I had no choice. The funny thing also, again, about being in a Caribbean family, and I'm not gonna blame this on all people, this is just very much my Haitian family. Like, all of our parents are in very, like, technical fields. And I wouldn't say, like, technical. I'm talking, like, they're all doctors or they're educators. I almost forgot to mention that most of my uncles followed the family legacy and are in masonry. And then their children, quite literally the ones they came to the United States for them to have a better life for, are all in artistic fields. Yo, I gotta be the one in the family who decides to take the safe route. But my brain quite literally said no. So fast forward, it is now October. After my mom and I fought all summer, I'm moving in with her. I come to England, thank God, the same time as my cousin and his roommate. So
hey, get into it. Hey.
I think I killed it.
No!
Craig, you ain't killed nothing.
Wait, you see a mark on the shoe?
Ain't no mark underneath your shoe.
Like, I had a great first week, I will completely admit. England is called the great place for a reason, and seasonal depression kicked my behind. Again, with my ADD meds, I get super anxious, so I would become super hyper-focused on me trying to apply to job. Every morning I was waking up and getting rejected. It was like, and it wasn't like, oh, you're getting one rejection for a job. I'm talking like 3 to 5 every single morning, but more like evening because like time difference, you know. And then I would go online and I had to learn how to, I basically almost deleted my Instagram because HBCUs kind of have like this brag culture, which is great. I love seeing Black people do great things. I'm a person who has a problem with comparing myself to others, knowing for a fact that my brain is not wired like other people. I can't put myself on the same scale as other people around me. And notice how I'm saying this out loud? It's still not processing up here. Yeah. My first few months in England were rough, like really rough. Like bad. Like crying every day, went days without eating, woke up, workout, cried on the toilet bad. And then on top of my deteriorating mental health, and to make matters worse, since quite literally no one truly understood what I did because I wasn't doing anything, because I was so sad, there would be distant relatives making shady remarks talking about when is she gonna get a job and come home? I'ma do that when you stop messing with girls that are trying to use you for a green card. You got bigger fish to fry. Stop worrying about me. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, I think we're gonna end it off here because I want to give part 3 and 4 like full time and dedication on the good part of England and how I also re-entered my flop era. And the gag is, when I first moved to England, I genuinely thought that was going to be my flop era. Like, I had a whole YouTube video titled, Welcome to My Flop Era. Baby girl, little did you know, it gets worse. So it's now December of 2021. My mom and I are about to return back to the States in like 2 weeks. We get in this colossal fight. The world's biggest fight. I was ready to pack my bags and never talk to anyone in my family ever again. But in my opinion, we needed to have that fight to clear the air in the most disrespectful way possible so we could finally start listening to each other. So now let's fast forward to January of 2022. I'm back in England. I had gotten a job offer out there, not for like a professional job, just like a cute little job on base to keep me busy. And they accept me for the offer. I'm in the middle of doing my paperwork and they're like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you can't actually work this job because you have to have a UK work visa. And that's going to take around 3 to 4 months to be approved. So we're just going to go ahead and say no because we need work immediately. At this point, that was the breaking point for me. I actually am pretty sure I have TikToks from that day that you can tell I'm going through like a mental breakdown. I think I girl bossed a bit too close to the sun when I say I dream of a life of no labor because now I can't get a job. So after me getting denied for this, my mom's like heated over the fact that like if you guys want workers so bad, then why not just like, if you've changed the rules, why not just say that? I just start breaking down in the car. I'm crying to her about the fact that, you know, I worked so hard, not only in high school, but in college to kind of get to a point where I would have a cushiony and boring life, but it seemed like quite literally nothing ever lined up for me. And I was like, I'm so sick and tired of working my butt off and doing everything that has quite literally been told to me from the jump, but none of it ever working out. And then I started opening up to her about the fact that, you know, I know I'm a smart person. I've always been told I was smart since I was younger, and I know what I'm capable of doing. And I was like, is it because of my disabilities? Like, is it because of that? Sobbing. Like, I'm ugly crying, and I rarely ugly cry. Over like things that actually pertain to me. Mom starts breaking down, and again, I think this was phase 2 of what we really needed to like clear the air, and we kind of open up to each other. And I feel like for the first time in literally forever, she was understanding my perspective and really understanding where I'm coming from, because through this absolute like thunderstorm of tears, I wouldn't get Mexican food. It was disgusting. Why would Mexican food made by Italians in Britain make any sense? Also from that point on, my mom and I, every month we tried to take a trip. So January we went to Ireland, February we went to Hungary, March we went to Spain.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Also, those trips just gave us the opportunity to get closer to each other, and I just like felt so rejuvenated after each and every one. I was experiencing literally what I'd come there to do, to travel, experience different cultures, and meet different types of people, and I absolutely loved it. And it was just like, but unfortunately, like all things in life, whenever I know life is going a little too well, I get on edge because I know something is about to happen, and sure enough. So the funny thing about life, specifically my life, is that whenever it is going really, really, really good, I know that it's about to get really, really bad. So, welcome back to my flop era. So it is now March of 2022. My frat brother came to England to visit me. We spent some time living our best bad black and bougie lives. You know, for the first time in a long time, it finally felt like things were falling into place. I literally started interviewing for positions out in England and finally hearing responses back from jobs and everything. I would have had my visa handled, not by them. I was going to sponsor myself. Like, things were really starting to work out for me. But then I get the news, due to unforeseen circumstances and basically a family emergency, I was going to have to leave England in a month. I had to contact all the friends that was finally starting to make and basically notify these jobs that I unfortunately was not going to be able to support myself in the way of my own visa. And they were like, well, because of that, unfortunately, since most of them were startups, they were no longer able to support me as well. But I'm distraught. I'm in emotional distress. Like, I am crying, shaking, throwing up. But I don't really show my emotions in front of other people. Like, I'm doing it on my own while like crying to my favorite UK club bops. Like, when I say I cry in the most like weird situations, like literally it is like an upbeat British pop song playing, and I'm boo-hooing in the shower. Yeah. I genuinely don't, like, that's it. Like, I'm just back now. And it happened so quickly. It was, like, literally 1 minute, living my best life. Blinked again, the house over there is packed up. Blinked again, I'm back to living out of suitcases. It's not, the most perfect situation, if that makes sense. And here we are. The rain is matching my current emotions. And like literally, I wish I could end this on a happy note, but like, I don't know what that is. Welcome to my flop era. I've somehow re-entered it for the second time in the span of a year. I don't know why they think they're like, oh, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. He must have mixed up my name in the factory. Lord Jesus, if you're watching this, please hand it on to the next Alexa. Give it to Jeff Bezos, because I am not the one. But, yeah. Another thing that's really crazy, even though I will admit a lot of the times, like, I am handed the short end of the stick, I genuinely believe, like, there will be a time in my life where I'm looking back at all of this as, like, character building opportunities. Honestly, like, being black is already character building enough. I don't need the rest of it, to be quite honest. But I still, for some dumb reason, genuinely believe it is going to get better, and it will get better. And I know that there are other people going through this as well. And I'm just gonna say this for us all. We have to, unfortunately, put our hope into the unknown, which genuinely gives me the bubble guppies. Ew. So yeah, let's hope it gets better. And if it doesn't,